Hello, welcome to session one of our Global Fabric Day 2026. This is Security, Location, and Intelligence in Microsoft Fabric, session one. And this is brought to you by the Microsoft Fabric Location, Intelligence, and Security User Group. And just excited to have everybody here today as we talk about these disciplines that have been so siloed and just wanting to bring them together in a conversation that says, hey, this applies to everybody and everybody can use these tools and have this mindset, and it's pretty accessible. It definitely takes a bit of focus, but obviously we're here to kind of learn and grow and build a community together so we can kind of answer each other's questions and just grow faster in these disciplines. And introduced myself before, but we'll just kind of do it since we're starting a new session and a new recording and a new live, and so people are kind of joining us. I just kind of reintroduce myself and our mods. So my name is Philippa Burgess, and I have 3 masters. I just wrapped up grad school and have stepped into sort of being a Fabric evangelist because I love Microsoft Fabric, and I was specifically excited about the Esri integration into Microsoft Fabric because one of my masters is in GIS. The other one is in GRC, Governance, Risk, and Compliance through law school for cybersecurity. So that's kind of why I have a passion for bringing together location and security, and then being a Microsoft student ambassador. Actually off board next week. I'm so sad about that. I've loved the program. I've been part of it for 2.5 years. That's how I know all these lovely people, and have gotten to be included in the Fabric community sort of through my role as a Microsoft student ambassador. So now I'm going to turn the stage over and introduce my co-mods. I'm going to start with Lee. Lee, do you want to take a moment to introduce yourself? All right, I don't have Lee on Oz audio. I'm going to turn it over to Usman. If you want to say hello, you're welcome to.
Hello everyone, my name is Usman from Pakistan. I'm also a Microsoft student ambassador, and I'm currently performing my computer science degree at bachelor's level. So good luck everyone for this session. I hope everyone enjoys.
Fantastic. All right, let's go. We got a bit of ground to cover. So we're just talking about how extending Fabric, the ecosystem advantage. And I just want to shout out to people I see in the audience. So saying hello. So hello, everybody. So again, so excited to have everybody here. And there are just multiple ways that we're seeing the Fabric ecosystem expand, just in these integrations that are being added. Again, Entra, Purview, Esri, and then there's a whole marketplace of other third-party integrations that you can add that just continue to expand your workflow. So here we're building compound intelligence through native ecosystem. Well, actually, there's native ecosystem integrations, and like I said, there's also third-party. We're going to look more right now at the native ones. So you've got the friction of fragmented intelligence. We talked about this a bit in terms of data teams, pipelines, and lakehouses split across 3 or more platforms, AI teams, models trained on ungoverned, inconsistent, or data copies, security teams, governance and compliance bolted on via ETL exports, and GIS location, spatial analysis entirely siloed from the enterprise data layer. So organizations spend more time reconciling platforms than generating insights. So the paradigm shift is the Fabric is the center of gravity. Fabric is no longer an island. It's an extensible ecosystem platform where every month of investment buys compounding capabilities. So you've got built-in, you've got your security, Entra ID, Purview, and just having that sort of zero trust in everything you're doing. You've got multipliers like Fabric IQ, Copilot, you can bring in MCP and just AI agents and all of that part of the ecosystem. Now we've got Esri, is going to bring in native location. There's 300 plus ISVs, those are the third parties. And then you have at the core of it, Microsoft Fabric as one platform and one governance layer. And so the capability stack, now you have speed. So real-time intelligence, bridging and streaming signals to analytics. You've got context, location intelligence, Esri, ArcGIS as native workloads. You bring in intelligence of Fabric IQ and data agents and governed semantic AI, and that extensibility of ISV ecosystem. Again, 300 plus partners are filling those gaps fast. So there's a lot of that extensibility that you can bring in. So Fabric, it's no longer just a product, it's the center of Microsoft's data and AI ecosystem. Bringing in Entra ID and security, bringing in Azure AI and OpenAI, bringing in partner and ISV layer, Power BI and reporting, Esri ArcGIS. So wanting you to sort of see like the bigger layer. And then Fabric IQ and Copilot. So in our next session, we're going to jump in and we're going to hear from Kim Manis and some of what they were talking about at Microsoft Build earlier in June. So now you've got a natural language to SQL. You can ask questions of your semantic models in plain English, and Copilot writes the DAX or T-SQL. You've got data native generation, automatically generate summary narratives from Power BI reports for stakeholders. You've got pipeline authoring assist, describe your data transformation in words, get Fabric notebook or pipeline code, and anomaly and pattern detection. Fabric IQ surfaces statistical anomalies from your governed data without custom machine learning. So key constraint is Fabric IQ is only as good as the data governance underneath it. And then we've got the Esri and Fabric, location as a native workload. So Esri Microsoft integration means GIS is no longer separate from your data platform. And that includes, you've got now ArcGIS for Power BI, which embeds ArcGIS maps directly inside your Power BI reports. So there's no export, no extra separate portal. You've got ArcGIS Velocity and Fabric real-time intelligence. So you can combine Esri's real-time location feeds with Fabric streaming pipeline. You've got ArcGIS Python API and Fabric notebooks, run spatial analysis with ArcPy and ArcGIS Python API inside a Spark notebook. Fabric as a geospatial data lakehouse, so store, version, and govern GeoJSON shapefiles. And I'm going to actually, AI helped me build this. I'm going to edit AI. Not great at raster data yet. We can talk later more, as raster is when you lay over data like a sheet, and vector data is your points, lines, and polygons. It is excellent at points, lines, and polygons. It is still a little bit new to the raster layer. And I know this because I've tried to work with satellite imagery, and it will unzip 4 files and then it will freeze. And it's not a sizing issue because there's plenty of space in my tenant. It just is it hasn't learned that yet. So points, lines, and polygons is where it's going to just shine in your location intelligence. But as the platform continues to expand, I have every confidence that it will move into its ability to be amazing. And then just wanted to sort of remind our mods, I think in our group chat, we have links to share. So definitely feel free to start sharing those links as we go, because there is definitely a lot of great supporting material that we have for this. And then let's talk about architecture decisions you're already making today. So the ecosystem context changes what the right answer is. So medallion versus direct integration. So if your medallion, you've got your bronze, your silver, and your gold layer, remains the right default for governed enterprise fabric and data in Fabric. Lakehouse versus warehouse. Lakehouse is for data engineering and machine learning, and your warehouse is for SQL heavy BI and structured analytics. Native AI versus Azure ML. So Fabric IQ for governed semantic AI, and Azure ML for custom model trainings and ML ops. Direct Lake versus import versus direct query. Direct Lake for most Power BI scenarios. It removes the import refresh cycle entirely. And then one workspace versus multiple workspaces. And that's domain-based workspace strategy with capacity level governance is the 2026 best practice. And actually that slide right there, just a lot of the questions are also questions you'll always find on those exams, is they give you scenarios and they say, what what's the best way to do this, which is the best thing to use in a particular scenario. So it's very sort of, that phrasing is very oriented to kind of exam language and exam thinking. And encourage everybody here to get the certs. Just a reminder, those certs during Fabric Data Days are free. You just need to register for it. And again, our mods can put those links in the chat to share with you to register not only for Fabric Data Days, but also to register for your exam vouchers and also their study groups. And we are just one of hundreds of community-led events, as well as the official events that are running out on Reactor. And I was a speaker there last week, and I'll be a speaker there again in July. And I also regularly moderate those Reactor channel talks as well. So there's a lot out there. So back to our talk here, we're at speed. So real-time intelligence is the bridge. So you can ingest Event Hub and IoT source. So streaming signals, geospatial events. And that ingest of the Event Hub then goes into a process. So your event streaming, you capture and filter with sub-second latency. Then you compute it through KQL database. So it's fast time series query engine and activator alerts. Moves you to a persist event house for long-term analysis. And then you can serve as using Power BI, Fabric IQ for real-time visualizations. So streaming architecture is no longer experimental. RTI closes the gap between a live event and the governed insight. And again, a lot of IoT is going to, just has a geospatial component to it of where things are happening. So you get, again, that's where KQL is most applied. Let me, hang on one second. I'm getting a question I'm going to take. Oh, okay. So I see Demir in the chat. Hey, Demir, you are welcome to join us from the chat. If you can't join us on the live stream, just jump in, and everybody's kind of got links to share. Yeah, just be part of the chat. We love having you here. And so I just want to introduce Demir as one of my fellow Microsoft student ambassadors. He's now graduated, and I have just graduated, so I will be joining him in the offboarding and our lives post Microsoft student ambassador. But we continue to collaborate and love having our community. And again, a lot of what we're here to do is oh, okay. So hang on one second. So what we're getting is a question about putting links in the chat. I just want to make sure everybody has the links. Yeah, we've got a lot of links to share with you guys. And I want to make sure everybody can get them. Okay, just want to make sure the links are going out because we have a lot of great links to share. Hopefully now everybody has the links and has permissions to share them. Can you guys give me a confirmation that you have that ability now to share links? Okay, so do we have, I'm just checking in on everybody, that you guys are all good, everybody has what they need, and that we're able to sort of start dropping links in the chat, because that would be, like I said, we want to make sure that you're registered for data days. I'm going to just test it. I'd like to have our mods be the ones who are dropping in our links, but I'm just going to test it just to make sure everybody can get the information. I'll also be sharing it through the Luma, so if you miss anything, I like to keep it live and interactive and give links as they are sort of immediately applicable to what we're talking about, but you'll actually have access to everything. So for example, we've just been talking about certs. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cert in the chat. Okay, let's just test that. Did that come through? Usman, can you tell me if you're seeing any? Okay, good. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to let you guys lead in dropping in links as they pertain to our conversation. And then I'll focus on presenting and then you guys can get everything you need. So no, okay. So just for clarity, so I see this question and I'll answer it now. If you're registered for Luma, all the sessions are together. So we are all you just need to register on the Luma once and you'll get the communications, you'll get the follow-up, you'll get the resources. Everything will be kind of in the Luma. So that's a one-time registration. Global Fabric Day may have its own reg page. I have not actually looked at it. I just kind of took the resources they shared with me. Fabric Data Days absolutely has its own. Fabric Data Days definitely has its own registration page and all of the links. Lee? Lee, I can hear you. All right, so I just wanted to clarify. So everybody who's on our mod team should have permissions to post. So just for clarity, those links you guys all should have. So one is just confirming you have the links to share, and two, you can either drop them in. Oh, Usman, quick question. Are you subscribed to the channel? Because that might be the link, that kind of gated the chat. I've actually never done that before, but I just gated the chat. So just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That might be why it's not allowing you to post. That might be the technical issue that we are very live. We are just kind of handling things in real time as we go. We're talking real time. This is real time. So Usman, that might be the issue. I was trying to figure out why you didn't have permission, but just double check that you're subscribed, and that would make everything should work more seamlessly. All right, I'm back to it, as hopefully that solves it. And okay, so yeah, so just for everybody, if you want to be part of the chat, we'd love to have you part of the chat. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We do that, just like I said, it just kind of part of what we're really wanting to do here is build community. And so it just kind of invites you to be part of the community. And then, so that's, and so, yeah, just I think that will make it so that everybody can easily get all the links as they are dropped into the chat. Okay. And then I'm back to my screen. So Lee and Usman, if you want to just let me know if you see anything that should come to my attention. I'll just kind of keep running through this. So we've talked about context. Location as a signal, not just an attribute. So again, I'm just curious how many people have seen, Michelle, I'll come back to the chat for a second. How many people have seen location data that you have ignored? and not analyzed and not visualized, and just said, I'll leave that for someone else. Curious how many people actually embrace your location data and start to use it and visualize it for signal and for decision making. So I'd love to hear from you about what your relationship to spatial data has been, because it exists. It's just we've seen it for so many I would say years. I mean, it's always, as far as my understanding, as I've gone through my studies, been super siloed. And that's kind of why I'm here to be like, and that's what Esri and Microsoft are doing, are sort of integrating it. Because, and I say this quite literally, I needed a master's degree to understand Esri software, sort of its proprietary ArcGIS Pro software. And now that it's bringing it into Microsoft, it's looking to extend its capabilities, but make it so that you don't need a master's degree. You can attend a few sessions like this and other things from Fabric Data Days and other smaller, more accessible learning paths to be able to implement and add this into your workflows. So I'm so excited about that and want to be the person who can help translate that. And so we've got our location signal now is available in Fabric. So you can look at things like proximity, so a distance to a flood zone, a fault line, or competitors, clusters, live demand density in physical space, routes, optimized supply chain paths and movement patterns, context, unlocking demographics, environment, and behavior from a single coordinate. Spatial temporal, meaning just means space over time. You can see how things move and change. So spatial architecture is sort of inside, not beside. So now, just again, all of this lives right inside your Fabric tenant. And so you've got key capabilities within OneLake. You've got ArcGIS GeoAnalytics, ArcGIS Maps for Fabric, and there's zero ETL. So you don't have to store, version, or govern, zero ETL. You can store, version, and govern directly within OneLake. And so then we also get into Intelligence Fabric IQ is there, and it's kind of coming out of there's still Fabric. It's Fabric IQ is developing. It's kind of the new thing that everybody's super excited about. There's just ways that it sort of optimizes your data and starts to understand the connections between the relationships of your data. But of course, it's only going to be as good as the truth beneath it. So we want to, so the tip for AI outputs, copilots, NL to SQL, data narrative generation, anomaly detection, so kind of understanding why you're using the AI. And the foundation is governed truth. So semantic consistency, single definitions of business truth, quality gates at silver, stale bad data blocked before it reaches models, lineage and labels, so purview lineage and sensitivity labels at the source, boundary enforcement, row level security, and object level security. So the rule is AI project stall due to data problems, not typically AI problems. And then you've got agent governance is now going to be a big thing to think about. So as we're bringing these agents into our workflows, thinking about how is the agent governed, and do you have documentation for this? I highly recommend that you do for your, coming from as it relates to the individual, the team, the department, the company, and also understanding are other state or federal laws applying, or international laws applying to any of the data that you're using. So agent governance is sort of AI as a principal entity. So service, principal identity, no human identity borrowing. Every agent gets its unique Entra ID. Outbound protection, data exfiltration, protection blocking outbound traffic by default. Using cybersecurity concepts like zero trust, least privilege. So the least privilege is read-only access to specific domains, never workspace admin. You do not want it deleting things that it's not supposed to delete. Purview audit logs captures user ID, access resources, prompts, and executed queries. And then bringing human in the loop, or as they're now sort of talking about, human in the lead. So for mandatory approval workflows for any write back actions. So again, you could have the AI recommend what should be deleted, but you should have a human actually review and actually do the deletion. Similarly, one of the new things they've introduced in Fabric is a soft delete. So things are no longer hard deleted. So they're recoverable for 30 days in case something got kind of accidentally removed. It's no longer unrecoverable. And this is what I'm super excited about is one actually for our so our location, our user group actually kind of is building on what was the Research Triangle user group. And then that lead kind of yielded it. Said, I've kind of moved on and I don't live there anymore and I'm just ready to kind of move along. And so I had been programming support for that user group. And so we kind of inherited that user group and we merged. We basically, because we just started. And so we built upon, but our last speaker that I had programmed joined us from Quantexa. And he gave such a great demonstration, which I'll also make available for you guys to watch, on what they do with Fabric on IQ and with ontologies. And he's just one of the 300 companies, or representing one of the 300 companies that's part of these partnerships and that extend it and have these amazing tools that do these things that you can bring into your Fabric workflows. And they're there for observability. So some of them, again, are natives and some of them are add-ons, have purviews built in now. SEOM, Fabric Monitor, and then you've got data quality, Great Expectations, DBT on Fabric, Acticama, Data Ops, Fabric CI/CD, Git, deployment pipelines, DBT Cloud, and then your security ISVs. You could add Varonis, security.ai, Big ID. So every integration compounds the value of a centralized one lake architecture. And then synthesis is, again, we're compounding this intelligence. So you're bringing speed, context, intelligence, extensibility. And so you bring, you've got zero data movement plus unified identities equal this compound intelligence. And because real-time intelligence, Esri, ISVs, and AI all sit inside a single Entra ID governance boundary and compute over a single one lake copy, the traditional rules of data engineering, constant exporting, importing, and syncing are entirely obsolete, which is very exciting. So yeah, so it's just kind of another way to look at those different other, like I said, Purview obviously lives on its own, and it's its own Microsoft security product for governance, and now kind of is accessible and really an essential part of of working with Fabric is to really understand what your governance obligations are for the data that you're working with, and then just like I said, all these other really cool tools to get in and explore. So now we've got the architecture decision matrix. You've got to look at, ingestion, compute, AI strategy, BI connectivity, and workspace. The legacy default was custom pipelines, isolated warehouses, ungoverned custom ML, import refresh cycles, and single giant workspace. And now in 2026, your Fabric ecosystem default is your medallions. You've got your bronze, silver, and gold. Your lake houses, you've got your ML engineering and warehouse SQL BI. You've got your Fabric IQ for semantic AI, Azure ML, and ML Ops. You've got Direct Lake, which has now zero refresh, and your domain-based workspaces with capacity governance. So your 2026 playbook has 5 actions to take. So treat Fabric as an ecosystem platform, not a standalone tool. Deploy real-time intelligence to close the gap between streaming and analytics. Move location intelligence inside your data platform with native Esri and ArcGIS workloads. Lock down agent governance using service principles and purview audit before deploying AI. And adopt the 2026 architecture defaults, Direct Lake Medallion, and domain workspaces to ensure AI readiness. And that is part of our session 1 takeaways. So we've got Fabric as an ecosystem platform, not a standalone tool. Every integration compounds your investment. Real-time intelligence is production ready and underused. It closes the gap between streaming data and governed analytics. Esri and ArcGIS are native Fabric workloads, so location intelligence belongs inside your data platform, not outside of it. Architecture decisions made today determine AI readiness in 2027. direct lake, medallion architecture, and workspace governance are not optional. And the partner ecosystems means you don't have to build what others have already solved. Now, these are things that should be in our chat and are going to come in and make sure they're there. But you can get certified. We'll talk more in one of our later sessions about the various certifications you can get. But the DP600, DP700, DP800 are all free for you during Fabric Data Days. You just need to request your voucher. So use the link that's provided if you want. You're welcome to mention us in our user group. We would love that. And you can also, obviously, mentioning Global Fabric Day is part of that. And that voucher will be sent to you in 1 to 2 weeks from the Fabric community. And so you can also get a 50% discount on PL300 or DP900 before September 30th. And so there's filling out that form. And again, I will make sure all of this stuff is also included in your follow-up materials through Luma. And be part of Data Days. Again, as I mentioned before, we're part of hundreds of these live and on-demand sessions, and many of them are community-led. And there's study groups to support you in preparing for these certifications, and just ways. This is basically kind of almost I feel like it's one of those open houses where I feel like they have those like art walks where you can like walk into different studios and see what different people are building and creating. You can do that with different user groups. You can see kind of what the different user groups are about and find the ones that are interesting to you. Many of the user groups are location based, but other ones like ourselves are topic and theme based. So this is a great opportunity to learn and meet sort of the different user groups and the different leaders within the community, and just find your tribe. And we're so happy that you're here and you're part of our tribe. Is kind of really fantastic, and we really appreciate all of you being here for this. So I think this is a really good opportunity to take questions or just kind of see where you guys are at. And then the other thing that I can do is we've been given a video to share, and I think I might want to go ahead and just kind of start the video in this session, and then we can go ahead and finish it in another, because it's actually about 30 minutes, and we have about 15 minutes.
Everybody, I'm super
excited. It is. So it's just, okay. So quick question. Do we have any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and yield the stage to our to Kim Manis and present and share the video that she invited us to share with you. Okay, not seeing any questions. I'm going to go ahead and get that started.
To be here today with you at the Global Fabric. Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to be here today with you at the Global Fabric Day 2026. My name is Kim Manis, and I'm Corporate Vice President of Product for the Microsoft Fabric platform. Many of you have been with us since the beginning of Fabric. Over 2 years ago, we built Microsoft Fabric, and we brought together all of these different products from across databases, data integration, analytics, real-time intelligence, BI with Power BI, bringing all these disparate tools together into one unified platform, making it easier for you to simplify, unify your data estates, and get to the business of getting insights and leveraging your data with AI. And the momentum shows in the numbers. We've got over 35,000 Fabric customers, with 90% of the Fortune 500 using Fabric. If you want to check out some of our amazing customer stories and examples of customers using Fabric, you can check out AKA MS Fabric featured customer. What's the future for Fabric? What's the world going to look like for all of us data folk as AI continues to evolve? And this is a number quoted from some of these analysts that are saying over 1 billion agents are going to enter the workforce by 2028. And they're going to sit side by side with us, working with us. And the question is, how do you make your agents as trusted and productive as your best employees? And the answer is really, you empower those agents with the same knowledge and context that you would your employees. So think about when you hire a new employee on the team, What do they need to know? What do you need to tell them? They join the team and you tell them who their boss is and what team they're on, what their org chart looks like. Here's the meetings you need to attend. Here's how decisions get made. You give them the curated knowledge of your organization. Here's canonical documents about how we work. Here's the employee handbook. Here's the instruction manual for the machinery you're going to use. And then you also tell them your OKRs, your goals for the business, the key metrics you're tracking. You give them access to the dashboards they need, the numbers they need, so that they can understand, are we going in the right direction? And all of those same concepts need to be given to agents. And that's really where Microsoft IQ comes in. Microsoft IQ is the layer of context across all of these areas, whether it's how your employees work, leveraging Work IQ in Microsoft 365, Foundry IQ, those curated knowledge bases end to end, and of course Fabric IQ, which shows you the state of your business and what the data says. So these all come together to empower not just our employees, but our agents. And it takes, a regular old LLM that knows a lot about the internet to knowing a lot about your business and how you work. So today we're going to spend a lot of time on our newest workload, which is that IQ workload in Microsoft Fabric. And I'm going to go end to end and show you how to implement IQ, what are the layers that you need to do to unlock AI on top of your data estate. So let's take a look. Okay, now we're going to go through the Fabric IQ framework from bottom to top and show you how you can adopt Fabric IQ end to end and empower those AI agents. It all starts with unifying the data estate. And this is where OneLake comes in. We like to call OneLake drive data because we aim to make it easy to share data as it is to share. You can also get data that lives elsewhere and virtually connected to OneDrive through shortcuts and mirroring. So whether your data lives in Azure or in AWS or in Google's cloud or on-premise or in a SaaS service somewhere, you can connect all the data and bring it together either physically or virtually. What this allows is for OneLake to truly unify the world's data and make it accessible for AI. And we're continuing to evolve this, and you'll see at Build we announced a number of new shortcut and mirroring options, including GA for SAP DataSphere, SharePoint and OneDrive, and Oracle DB. Okay, so that's step one. You unify the data. The next step is you need to process and harmonize the data and structure it in a way that makes sense. And this is where Fabric's engines really make it possible. This is where data warehousing comes in, data engineering, real-time processing. So let's dig into some of our announcements from Build around analytics. One that I'm super excited about is GPU-powered query acceleration. This is a major performance improvement, not a minor optimization. Tons of customers are using Fabric Data Warehouse. One great example is UNC Health. They saw up to 5x performance improvements. And so how does this work? How does GPU query acceleration work? Basically, you flip a switch and you see improvements. Now, the cool thing is, for a single user, immediately you start to see eight times faster improvements on your queries. But the amazing thing here is as you get more users, as you increase the load and the concurrency, you see more and more improvements, up to 107 times faster. This is amazing because instead of degrading as your load increases, the performance is accurate. So let's take a look at a demo to see how simple it is to take advantage of GPU query acceleration.
I'm a developer building an application on top of Fabric Data Warehouse, and I want to make sure my users get insights instantly, whether they're viewing dashboards or asking questions of an analytics agent. Here we are in Fabric DW. I'm going to go ahead and run a couple of ad hoc queries. At the bottom, I can quickly tell that there's a brand new option called Query Acceleration. It tells me that it's off, but I can navigate to Workspace Settings and under Data Warehousing, find the Query Acceleration option and turn it on. And once it's on, it's applied to every SQL endpoint and every data warehouse in this workspace. Using it is simple. I just hit run and I can see that my query is being accelerated. Monitoring gives me visibility into what was accelerated and what was not. From this brand new column, I can quickly tell that several queries have already been accelerated. Frequently run queries gives me even more visibility, with a count of total accelerated runs for a particular query. And when I return to the query editor and click on query acceleration, I'm given a bird's eye view of the value this capability is adding for my particular data warehouse. Roughly 89% of the queries were accelerated, which is huge. We're super excited to get this GPU-powered data warehouse into your hands and accelerate insights faster than ever before.
Another really cool thing we showed at Build is agent skills for Fabric. These are first-party skills we publish for you to be able to pivot completely to agent-driven development in Fabric. This removes all the need for manual clicky-clicky, draggy-droppy to just asking the agent for what you want. So let's just take a look at how you can build an entire end-to-end ingestion layer with just a prompt.
These days, organizations are moving from manual data preparation to an agent-driven approach. So we're going to use Fabric's brand new agent skills repo to essentially provision an entire customer data pipeline from start to finish. Agent skills accommodate a range of Fabric capabilities. I have skills for several workloads, from real-time intelligence to data warehouse to data engineering. And using them, I can set up an entire medallion architecture from scratch. Let's take a look. I'm starting in the CLI with GitHub Copilot and one simple mission: build me out an ingestion engine, clean my ticket data, and prep me a silver layer. With just one prompt, look at us go. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see my Fabric workspace, which is being populated with a Lakehouse artifact based on that prompt. After that, we'll see a notebook being provisioned as well, with all of the configuration and best practices applied for data engineering thanks to Fabric agent skills. The skills are facilitating this for me based on my prompt, and when Copilot is finished, I can get a summary on the left-hand side of the screen of everything that's been done for me, with all the best practices applied. From there, I can move into Fabric to see my solution in action. In my Lakehouse, we can see the silver table that was created for me via CLI. I have all my ticket data ingested in Fabric, and it's been categorized thanks to an agent-driven approach. We can go on to the latest and greatest in Fabric Analytics for further analysis. We're using the most up-to-date runtime, which includes Spark 4.0 and Delta 4.0. And we can run or schedule our notebooks with support for custom live pools. This capability takes the long pool startup times that many customers used to experience when loading in libraries and network security settings from 3 to 5 minutes down to anywhere between 3 to 5 seconds. I'm creating a schedule for these pools here. Basically, I'm saying at a certain time every morning, I want my custom live pool to be pre-warmed with all my configurations so we don't have to wait for those long startup times when I attach compute to my notebooks. Then, I can go ahead and publish the bronze to silver cleaning notebook that was did for me via CLI. Hooking up to my boot. And when I start up check, we're going to be live in just 5 seconds. Moving to my SQL Analytics endpoint, I can analyze ticket data further using AI functions. Whether you're in a notebook or a data warehouse, working with PySpark or T-SQL, as I am here, these functions bring LLMs into Fabric with no configuration. Drilling into my ticket data, I can use AI functions to categorize it, assign sentiment labels to tickets, or classify those tickets according to custom categories. For instance, whether they're billing related, product related, or something else entirely. Fabric Data Warehouse also integrates with Activator for real-time alerting. I can create a query that will be used to trigger actions anytime data that's associated with a product quality issue, about strange noises for instance, lands in my platform. In these cases, what I want is a trigger to fire so that one of my colleagues can be notified through Teams that there's a new ticket with negative customer sentiment. Using the interface here, I can configure the column I'd like to read and then create it. With agent skills for Fabric Analytics, we've gone from prompt engineering to operational intelligence to real-time alerting in minutes.
All right,
come back off mute. Okay, we'll end it there. And then we'll continue this because there's quite a bit of ground that they're going to cover with us today. And I have other speakers going to be joining us on stage as well. And excited to just kind of continue our Global Fabric Day and just continue the information we have to share with you, the information Kim and her team has to share with you. So we will go ahead and meet you guys in the next session. Hopefully the chat is all going well. And yeah, I think we're good. Great to see everybody. And like I said, links either dropped in the chat or in the resources that will be shared on Luma after the event as well. So there'll be a lot for you to do deeper dives into everything. So again, thank you for being here for session 1, and we'll go ahead and see you in the next session for session 2. Thanks, everybody. See you there.